Good morning, my dear friends, and warm welcome to one and all of you. I've been missing you a lot, and I hope you're doing good, doing great. It's been quite some time. I couldn't dedicate my time, I was getting a little busy with work. Yes, I hope that you're staying peaceful, you're happy, you're healthy, you're wealthy, and most importantly, you're staying in protection because of this pandemic situation. So maintain the social distancing, wear masks and hand sanitize your hands and all that as is necessary, right? Okay, so the reason why we are doing this series, I keep reminding you each time, is because we are talking through a very, very important aspect of our life, how to build positivity, how to build overcomers in the society, because these are the two important aspects which really happens to continue in everyone's life as a negative element, that people are not able to march ahead in their life, right? You always see that they are stuck with some or other emotions or some or other deprived feelings, or they are having that lonely attitude, or they have the disappointment which they just couldn't forget and move on. And everything outside seems to be normal, but inside of them people have a different feeling. You can call it as a psychological impact, you can call it as an emotional barrier, but both of these are equally harmful in a person's life. And that's the reason we kicked off this series, and 50 plus sessions available in the playlist. You can obviously go and benefit from these kind of sessions that we are doing. All right, once again a warm welcome. Today's subject we are going to deal, it's going to be short and sweet. We're going to deal with the subject which all of us know. It's called as discouragement, or getting discouraged. The major reason for many people to get discouraged is what we are going to go through in the session. But the basic definition of discouragement, or feeling that discouraged, or getting into the feeling of feeling discouraged, is um, some people, have you seen, when they're discouraged, the kind of words and reactions that comes out of them will be something like this: it's all over, it's all finished, I don't think I'll be able to get this back. I don't think I'll be able to get happiness in my life. I won't be able to do this. It'll be all a kind of a close-ended statement. Have you observed? It will be a statement which will convey just one thing. To them, the life is over. To them, and according to them, according to their standards, according to their judgment, I think is as good as like they are lying in a coffin. They are like dead. They are dead bodies, and there is no hope left for them in their lives, right? You might have gone through the same situation. I have definitely gone through the same situation. And it's nothing strange, it's nothing to be called as like, am I the only person going through this feeling? No, any human being, if they are human beings by the way, they would have definitely gone through this kind of situation at least once in their life. That is quite normal. So don't feel so very discouraged if at all you're going through that feeling of discouragement. Right, no problem. And that's exactly what we are going to discuss. It's going to be a very short session. We will see how quickly to cover the important aspects, right? The discouragement, if you see it basically, what is the root cause of the discouragement? Many people have shared this feedback. The criticism of others can often induce, trigger the discouragement in us. The more you live in the world, for example, you cannot live in this world without talking to people, right? When you talk to 10 people, 10 of them will have different opinion. For example, the color of the shirt, the color of the robe, the dress where you what you wear, and from the way of you talk, walk, perform, everything have a different thought process between people, right? And when you work for one company and then you go for a to work in a different company, you study in one school, you go and join the college, things change. So whenever changes are induced or imposed in your life, it also ignites something called as discouragement. It can create a positive impact, it can create a negative impact. Either of these is possible. Whenever you will go through this journey of life, you will start meeting with people, right? And people, everything that they talk, it can be either of these two things. If it is a negative impact, it all depends how you look at it, right? If you're a very matured person, I don't think you will take anything and everything in a negative way. But even the negativity, you will be able to perceive it and convert into positivity, right? You will have that broad mindset. Why? Because the world and the people and the life would have taught you so many things that nothing is strange for you, nothing is new to you. You would have just gone through, ah, this fine, this comment, fine, feedback, and you know where to strike it as not required, where to strike it as required, right? That is called as the maturity of a person. So if you have not been through these experiences, get experienced, nothing wrong, right? You can always go through the experiences and get experienced, so nothing wrong in that, right? Especially the trigger is criticism. More than criticism, even the normal interaction, to some people it sounds as criticism, and that's where you and I need to really pay attention. And sometimes people are very sensitive to, feeling criticized, and they take that inner criticism to heart. See, even though the criticism is often unfair, kind of, wildly exaggerated and completely false, the more they take the criticism to the inner depths, right, the more easily they get discouraged, right? And as I told you, criticism is one aspect. The other aspect is even a normal interaction for some people, it seems to be like criticism. So it all depends on your mindset. There is lots that you need to fix within you, because you cannot fix things in the world. You cannot fix things and people. You cannot stipulate rules. This is how you should talk to me. You know who I am. This is not something that you could handle for yourself and for others, but you can handle what is within you very easily, and that's what we are going to discuss. And that's why I gave you a little bit of input, right? The more you get into the depths of sensitization, or sensitized feelings, the more you are getting away from your focus, the more you are getting away from your targets, objectives, ambitions, happiness, joy, everything you lose. You will feel so lonely, and that's the first sign of discouragement. When you feel discouraged, you will feel you have lost the whole world, you have lost your life, and you have lost people, you have lost relations, you have lost relationships, and you will feel so lonely. That's the first sign, right? We will talk more about it, right? Now, why does feeling no sorry, or I would say, what does this feeling discouraged means actually, by definition, right? See, for example, if you keep on working on a project, and very hard working you are, and you're spending plenty of time, long hours, late hours, and you don't seem to make any progress. Neither do you get any acknowledgement or any good feedback from your manager or from your co-workers. You may feel discouraged. I'm just giving a typical example. Or you study so hard, you work so hard, but the person who is your neighbor's daughter or somebody scores just like that, and you see them playing in the streets, you see them always getting involved in any kind of extracurriculars and all that, yet they score, higher percentage. You can get discouraged, right? It simply means your enthusiasm and optimism have been replaced by doubts through negative imposition of your feelings. And what causes that? Comparisons, right? You cannot compare your talent, your skills, your caliber, your output, your desire, right, your target, your interests with another person's daughter, or with another person, one on one, apple to apple. It happens within the company organizations, it happens in corporate world, it happens if you are a teen, right? You have the peer pressure. We spoke about peer pressure in the previous session. It all induces because of the comparisons, right? And you stick to your expectations. I keep telling you this, the only competitor to you is yourself. Yeah, you learn to compete against your own standards, your own targets. The last time you're scoring certain percentage, this time you target to score at least 1% more than what you had scored before, right? Same happens to all the achievements at your workplace. Same happens all the, materialistic achievements which you have done. Target for more, target for a bigger house, target for a bigger car. It's fine, but you should develop the target to yourself. You limit it within yourself. Do not take it to the next person or the next house or neighborhood or something like that. The more you get into these kind of activities, you really get discouraged. Does everyone get discouraged? Hmm? Or only few set of people they get discouraged, right? Is a question we all have. Everyone gets discouraged. This is what a study says, and they have taken a lot of samplings. There is not a single human being on earth who will never who would be never able to say, ah, this discouragement and this discouraged feeling, I do not know what it is. They are acting. They are hypocrites. They are falling by this act of hypocrisy and do not believe because that's not for real, right? Everyone cries sometimes, some or other time in their lifetime. Everyone go through some frowning moment. Everyone will go to some sort of errors, losses, failures, right? Through some or other situation. This is called as life. You understand the definition of life, you will also understand the definition of discouragement, because both goes hand in hand. If there is a life, if you are a human being, definitely there is something called as a bubble discouragement, and you will have to go through it in life. But some of us, handle it very very maturely, very very casually, easily. Why? Because the past experiences in your life taught you much on this aspect of discouragement, so it's not new. I told you this many times. But when we do go through it, we can admit our mistakes and be honest and eliminate this self-doubt, and have this kind of feeling that will I be able to do this. You don't have to be doubtful. Everyone went through it, and everyone came across it, and if they are able to overcome, you also should be able to overcome, because you're also a human being. Now, what is the root of discouragement? I told this already, but then by definition, the verb discourage has roots in the French word called as uh, couragier, right? Which comes from the meaning of, it's called as, what to say, away, feeling lost, right? So when you discourage, someone you can think of, it is as good as like taking out the courage of somebody, enthusiasm of somebody, or killing their aspirations and all that. So there are few people, why I meant this point, or the question that I put in right in front of you is, many people have this habit of unknowingly, right, or unwillingly, both of them are equally to be blamed, they go ahead and discourage people, right? And what happens is, in other words, you're murdering their aspirations, you're murdering their inspirations. So you don't want to do that, right? If you don't like somebody, you don't have to really hurt their feelings, leading to the extent of discouragement, and they're lost completely. For them to get back to the track, it may take decades. So do not be involved in any kind of conversations that might lead a person to discouragement. That's really bad on us as human beings. If you can't support a person, if you can't create positive impact, at least refrain from creating that negative impact, is the only principle that you and I need to abide, and we can build a very very healthy world, a social world, right? What to tell someone who's discouraged, right? Many people come to you. It can happen within your family, at your workplace, at your college, and whatever it may be, or your neighborhood. When they approach you, what are those two or three things that I could tell them? These are the tips that I could leave behind, right? Let them know they're not alone. What you say to them really matters that point of time. And you don't have to fulfill what you're saying that point of time. See, there is a study that says that when people come to certain extreme decisions of, killing themselves, or whatever, it all happens in the next 1.5 minutes or something like that, since the time they go through these kind of situation. So that 90 seconds to 120 seconds really matters, and probably few minutes later also really matters, right? Now, next thing is, you need to advise them, which could help them look for progressions. Now, what changes for the better did you notice in the person over the past few weeks, or all that? You could take like a history, and you have studied well on that person, and you could tell the person what should be done from a progressive perspective. You can advise. See, they come to us with a hope, because you know that person, that you are going to suggest something. Don't send them empty hand or empty head, right? Or don't be a blabberer at the same time. Tell them the more meaningful things, or tell them, at least tomorrow we will discuss, I have some ideas. Just leave behind, spark a hope, and leave them with some hope, and tomorrow, 24 hours time, you would have to discuss that with person. Who knows, the person himself would be having some ideas. But that creating, igniting that hope, no, it really matters, right? And then lastly, also tell them that you're not the only person in this, right? You have many examples, and the person whom you're talking to you right now is also going through this problem. You can call yourself as that person and you can tell them. That itself feel encouraged. See, sometimes what happens, no, during the school days, right? If you are getting certain percentage, 60 percentage, you'll be running around to find who have got the same 60 percentage. The more people you get in that 60 percentage category, you feel so joyful, happy, convinced, okay, I'm not the only one. Correct, no? If the entire classmates, bunch of classmates are more than 80 percentage, you will feel so deprived and discouraged. Correct? No, that is exactly the problem. The person who approaches you when they are in that hopeless situation, when they are in the discouraged moment of time, they come to you asking not only for help, but trying to understand whether you have gone through the same situation or not. This is the best means of encouraging somebody. Sometimes you may have to speak some lies also. Ultimately, you need to get them out, but speak some meaningful lies which could create some hope, right? But as far as the discouraging matter is concerned, it is the truth. You would have gone through at least once in your life, right? All right. Now, here are the tips to overcome if you are going through this discouragement, this thing. You need to remember these tips. With this, we will close, right? Remember, there is no such thing called as failure. It's only matter of time and education, right? I told you, right? Experiences. It's like building that experiences, and experiences can be built only in matter of time. It doesn't happen instantaneously, right? And there is nothing called as failure. All of us go through that iceberg incidents. You hit the iceberg unknowingly, right? No ship would want to go on back against the iceberg to check the strength and the stress levels of the ship, right? They definitely know that they're all going to die, right? And we all go through this moment of time, iceberg events, unknowingly. So there's nothing called as failures, but you got to just educate, get into that education and build that experience. For that, it will take time, right? And stay true to your vision. See it again in your mind. Don't ever unplug that vision, right? Don't ever say no to your visions or whatever you want to achieve in your life, citing this one failure, one incident, one event, one error, one loss, one break in relationship. Do not ever come to a conclusion that all is over. That is exactly what you should do. The next tip is, don't let your ego get in the way of the developing or development, right? Sometimes the egos are the one which discourages us. See, I expected her to come first to me, and at the end of the day, I ended up going to her house. She's so proud about herself and all that. Don't let ego to spoil any of your development, any of your relationship. That is also another factor for discouragement. Stop comparing yourself to others. You are on a unique path. You are a unique creation of God. And if you're a believer in God, you will definitely know this. If you're not a believer in God, no problem. You are a unique person. Your eyes and your fingerprints are the witnessing agents that you are a unique person. You don't have to compare to others, right? You have your ways of doing things. Yeah. Detach from rewards, focus on actions, and give your best to the work that you are involved, right? That's it. Give it a best shot. Don't ever be worried about the results. You are too much focused on, will I get this much, will I get that much. I'm expecting a big hike from my manager. Who knows, you may get a 0% hike, or you may go through a pay cut. So do not have any expectation, but give it your best shot and just leave it there, right? And change your rules, or change your rules for being happy, not for being sad, right? Many people have a lot of rules and regulations to feel very happy, dissatisfied, demotivated and all that. But why don't you convert the rules on the positive side? That is possible, no? It's all within your head. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Consider who you are spending time with. Who is your companion? Watch out, because the major source for discouragement could be your companion. Anything and everything, some people, they open their mouth, it will be all about negativity. Even a positive scenario, they know, they are experts, they have done PhD to convert into some sort of negative scenario. Stay away from such people. Don't hate them, they're not your enemies. Refrain. Because why? It's not suitable for you. Maybe after a period of time, they will understand the reason why you have refrained from their relationship, and who knows, they themselves will change. That itself can become a motivation for them, right? Go outside, move around, take a deep breath, all these things, so I'm skipping that. Talk to your mentor. Accept somebody as your mentor. Be very humble that you don't know everything in life. There are things that you do not know. There are many things that you do not know. You need somebody's help who has experienced. Pick an elderly person, or pick your own peer, or pick little elder to you. It all depends, but have a mentor to whom you can share, right? Go find someone who can help is also part of it. With it, we will close. I hope this was a very encouraging session to get you out of discouraging or discouraged feeling and all that, right? So you're not the only one. Many people go through it. In fact, every human being go through it at some or other point in their lives. Therefore, stay courageous and stay joyful. God bless you. I'll soon meet you with the next session. If there is anything you want to leave as a feedback, you can pass in the comment section, and you please subscribe to our channel. We release videos, therefore you get automatic notifications. Stay tuned. I will soon meet you. Bye. Take care. God bless you.